Hello and good evening. Welcome to another Wednesday night Stamping with Sandra. So this evening I have chosen to highlight a little bit of carrying over and a little bit of retiring. So let's get down onto the table. I'm going to be using the Horizon suite, on the Horizon Designer Series paper mostly. So let me just get you down and across there. There we go. And hopefully somebody will come along and join me on the live. Okay, so the Designer Series papers, I have taken out mostly one of each of the designs in the paper. Now these, I'm just going to spend a few moments just going through these. These are retiring at the end of April. I think the new catalogue starts on the 3rd of May. So these papers are absolutely gorgeous and all like watercolour images and scenery, but they are truly amazing. These ones have got some like snowy topped cottages, nice stormy sky, lovely summery sky, nearly a sunset. These ones are startings for some lakes, but I can see some pieces added into that one. This is a waterfront scene. Now I've got the Let's Sail By. I think let's set sail, sorry. And this one would look lovely with a boat on there, so we might do that one. In fact, I'll leave that one out. We'll probably do that one. Another horizon scene here, absolutely gorgeous. This one just looks like a meadow, and you're just going to meander up some of these little inclines here. That's quite nice. I'll use that one. This one is just a stormy sky, but you can add so much to them. And again, some more lakes on that one. And just, I might have that one twice in there. And then some sunsetty colours, just the colours over the horizon on that one. And then on the backs, this is just the, oops, playing cards with those and dropping them. So that's just the front. On the back of the card, all our packs of cards, Stampin' Up card, it does say on the back here, all the colours that are included in there. So it makes it nice and easy to grab your cardstock and be ready to craft. I'm just going to whisk these over and just show you some of the more neutral, muted tones on the back of these. They are all colours that coordinate. There's the other scenery one I was looking for. I'll turn that one over the other way. And just some stormy skies. So that's really a nice one as well. So I can't use all of these tonight. I've got a card here using this one just to show how I did this with the kites the other week. I think that was on a Facebook Live. So I'm just going to leave those there for a moment, and how some of the panels can be made up. So we're going to have a go at doing some similar things with that today. So the stamps I'm going to be using, Ocean Front. I'm not sure. Hi Joy, lovely to see you. So Ocean Front is carrying over. This one will be in the new annual catalogue. I haven't actually christened this one yet. Look, it's lovely and spanking new and clean. But today I've got this out ready in case I want some of these grassy pieces. I will be back using this one a lot more later. On the horizon, this is the one I'm going to use some gates from here and some of the dies and maybe some stamps. This is retiring. So there's an R on the back here. It is going to be going. So if you are interested in this one, I'm not sure in each of the markets what the inventory levels are like, but there's some lovely dies in here. I'm going to use some of these and some of the grassy cut there. So that's that one. And then another one that is carrying over as well is Grassy Grove. This is gorgeous. I love the thank you on here. It's just a lovely set. Hi Shaz, lovely to join me. Some of these trees are gorgeous, and the sentiment, I just got those out because there might be some pieces in there I love, and I've put the Grove dies on a hinged piece of black card so that they're easier for me to see. There's actually 3 deer images in that one for the die cuts. Okay, then of course we have all our stamps. So I've got those ones out. I've also just going to bring these on, not necessarily using everything today, but just because these go absolutely brilliantly with those horizon type papers. So this, I have got the punch out and we will be putting a sailboat on today. But there's some just different images that go together with these. This one is retiring. Okay, so this will be going if it's not gone already. I haven't checked that one recently, but this one will be in the new catalogue, okay, as a bundle at the moment, okay. So I'll pop those out of the way. I don't know if I'm going to be using them, but I'll probably be using the sailboat. So with these papers, I'm going to be using note cards. And I did just pull out a couple of pieces I'd already got with the pieces I've already used the other parts of. Now, I want to show you today that using our note cards and a little layer behind there, you can do some really quick, sorry, I'll come down into the camera, I'm a little bit zoomed out here, aren't I? You can make some really nice cards quite quickly. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some of those today, and I'll put those to one side for a moment, and I'm going to start with this one, I believe. So this one, you will see the papers are 6 inches. Now if you cut that down the center, you will have 2 3-inch pieces, and they are the perfect size. I'll just get a ruler and show you. Because we're starting in inches, I'm not normally an inches girl, but because we're starting in inches, 3 inches will go nicely as a matte layer on there. So I'm going to take my small trimmer and I'm going to take the bottom off this, and I want that to be, where should we go? Let's just go down the 3 inches for starters. It's easier to work with. So we can decide which piece we want to use first, whether we want some trees in there or whether we just the water. I'm going to use this one today. Pop that with my spares. Now this is where I was getting my trimmer confused to say I'm going to take some off here. Now these note cards, if I'm right, are 5 inches. Yeah, 5. So I want this to be, I've got 3.5 there, and I'm going down to 3 inches on my paper. So we want my paper to be ½ an inch smaller. So I'm going to go down to 4.5, and then that will fit in there nicely as a whole panel. When you have the water like this, wherever the horizon line is, excuse me, sorry, you might find that you actually want to adjust where you're putting your paper. So for this one, I wouldn't want to just chop off the sky, because the horizon is quite high on there. And if you come down, you're going to lose most of the water. So I'm going to take a little piece off here first, and they don't go to waste, they go in my scraps. And then I'm going to measure this and just put a little dot where my 4.5 inches is. Just to go on there. Yeah, it's going to be 4.5. Just move that out of the way. This trimmer, the only reason I'm looking at it like this is because the trimmer only goes to 4.25, and I actually want 4.5. So I'm just going to put a little pencil dot at 4.5. That's going to roll away, and then we can cut off at that point. So we're only using half a sheet. We have got double-sided if we wanted to use the other side, and that would fit on there on its own like so. Okay, then it depends on what you want to do with it. So I have a choice here. I've pulled out some of the colours in the listed on the back of the packet. So I have here, I have Blackberry Bliss, and I also have Misty Moonlight. So what I like to do is to lay that on there and see which one's going to bring out those colours better. So we've got some blue from the water. We've also got the purple from the sky. So it's a bit of a juggle to decide which one you'd like to do, because this isn't truly that blue. It's kind of like a purpley blue. I think this one's going to go better, so I think I'll go that one. You've got a couple of extra packs. I've got one whole extra pack, Shaz. They are a necessity, aren't they? They are gorgeous papers. I'm just going to take a piece of that out. I need my large trimmer that was here underneath. Sometimes when you've got lots of space, it's not such a good thing. So if we're working on 3 by 4.5, we want this to be slightly bigger. So we want, instead of 4.5, we want to go up 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go 4 3/4. And then this way, instead of being 3 inches, I want 3 1/4. So I'm going up overall 1/4 inch. And then that will just make a nice matte layer behind there. And they can go on there quite simply, like so. That would make a nice border. That's my 1/4 inch. Sometimes I go 1/8 inch, because sometimes it's not just, I'm just coming a little bit, there you go, gradually creeping in. There we go. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes you might want to go to the whole of the page. Okay, so that one could look nice on the whole page and no white behind it. In fact, you know, I think I'm just going to try that and just give you the comparison of the whole of the width. So this is 3.5. Oh, that was lucky. By 5. Okay. So that just helps show you how you can use these. So if I hold that one there, that's in the middle of a sheet with a white base. However, if I put it onto here, you could actually cover the whole of the front of that card and have that piece there, like so. And then, because I've got a piece of white underneath here, I could just put a tiny little layer around there. So I'm going to cut the 3 1/8 now by 4 5/8. Three and 1/8. Okay, and you can see just the different combinations of that card. So I'm going to just to break the border up, I'm going to give that more of a white little matte layer. But because this piece is going to cover the whole of my card, you won't see any white behind it. Now I quite like that. Sorry, covering the camera up again. I think that's quite rich. I think I'm going to go with that one. I really like that. Now I have no punches on my table that would do the base here in purple, but I have got the cloud punch. So because I like to conserve my paper, this white layer, all you're going to see is a border around the outside. So we're going to cut a couple of those, and I keep a little pot on my desk, and then they can just go in there for now. We might not use them, we might use them on another project. Okay, so this one's going to come straight onto there with my trusted Tombow. Oh, gorgeous colours on the back there. Just going around the edge, and then normally I put a dot in the middle, but I'm going to put the middle through there because if you cut shapes out, sometimes you'll go and put that on there and you go through the hole. So that's not such a good idea. So that's just one layout, covering the white note card and making it into a colour. So nothing really on here. I wonder if just because I've got it out, I think I'm going to do a sailboat and come in for the whole piece. So I've got all of those pieces. I am going to put them in my little pot because you never know. We might actually decide that might go with something. As long as you've got just a tiny little border there, all of those 3 pieces can come out. Oops, left me stern behind. So this is now going to cover the whole of my base card there. You like that as well? Sorry, I missed which one that was for, Shaz. So I'm just going to dot into these holes. Okay, just to make sure that it adheres everywhere. I call this gutting when you take the middle of your pages out. Scrapbookers do it all the time, and card makers like to conserve their resources as well. I said this to somebody the other day. We have, us crafters, we have tons and tons of paper, but we still keep all the scraps, don't we? So I think this can now go on there erased on some foam pads. So I have some dimensionals here and buried my tweezers. There they are. So we'll pop some pads on there. Just come in from the edges so it can't be seen from the sides. And then a couple in the centre. Just to hold it like so. Pull these off. Tweezers to the ready again. And I've covered my bin up, so let's just take that off. There we go. And there's our lovely scenery. Now I've made one little faux pas already because I was going to put some birds in the sky on this one. Now I have foam pads on there. It won't make my job very easy, will it? So I've taken the birds out of one of the sets. They're on the horizon. There's also some in the Let's Set Sail set in here. There's some little ones. But because the sky is quite empty, I'm going to put these ones on there today. So we've got two different sorts to look at. And because I'm on foam pads, I've just got to check that this is going to stamp nice and clearly on a piece of scrap. And that upside down. Believe it or not, birds can be the other way up. They are right. Don't think there's really any. Making myself doubt this now. On the stamp set, they are actually that way up. So I'm going to go with this one. So I'll put it slightly at an angle. And hopefully I won't get any marks because I'm on foam pads. There we go. That was lucky. Okay, so if you're going to put stamping onto your piece, do make sure to, I'm going to go the other way. Just make sure to stamp before you put it on foam pads. Okay, so that's one there. And I am going to do a sailboat. And I think I'm going to do that in the... I'm going to do the sails in the blue. Ooh. Shall we just try those purple ones, actually? You could have purple sails on that boat, couldn't you? I'm going to do a blue one as well because I want to see how that's going to turn out. So I'm going to do the top half of this, just on the camera there. I'm just doing the two sails. I'm not doing the bottom of the hull. There are my two sails. Put that off to one side in the rubbish. And then I think I could do with the hull in a black because there's some quite dark going through there. Got my cardstock all lined up on the floor behind me, beside me. It's a good way of using up scraps as well for your punching. So I'm just going to do the hull through the middle here. Okay, if I get the odd sail, then so be it. Because they can all be saved for later. In a bin, and that's that one. Keep those over there. And then we'll have a small one as well. We've got the big one and then there's a small one. There we go. Okay, so let's assemble these. I'm going to use that scrap piece of paper just to assemble these. I'm going to see which we like best. We've got the boat here. We could have some sails coming like this. Which way best to do these? Oops, a daisy. When I did these before, I literally just had the tops and tails, just the top and the bottom of these on the ship, the boat. So we have the Blackberry Bliss there, and then on this one, if we swap that out, we would have the blue. See, I'm not thinking that that's the right blue for this, so I think I'm going to stick to the Blackberry Bliss, one of my favourite colours. So if we just take this onto a scrap for now, we're going to, as I said, we're going to put the top and the bottom and just touch those with a dot of Tombow, just a tiny dot. And then we're going to put those onto the mast. Okay, like that, and just hold that down so it adheres. The matte and layer, they all work nicely, don't they, Shaz? There is no right or wrong. It's just what you fancy, and I wanted to show you a few different ways because especially if you've got some more stock of the papers, you can just rattle through them and just make a load of cards, quick thank you cards, birthday cards, etc. So I'm just pressing on the top and bottom. They are only attached by two little points, but when we place this onto the card, I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals which will help hold it in place. If you want to use your bone folder, you can put an extra little bit of weight top and bottom on there because that's the only place it's held. And just hope it hasn't stuck to the... Oh, that's not quite caught. Don't want to stick it to the paper, that's all. Okay, need another little dot under this one. I can feed that through. It's not really that awkward, it's just getting it to adhere on that mast. Press on that And there we go. That glue will dry shortly. Lift him off. And then we're ready to stick him on here. So we can pop that wherever we like. We can have him going whichever way you want to go. Lower down in the water, on the horizon. So on the horizon might be quite a little bit down. And I'm going to put some foam pads on here. Now I'm going to do a mixture. I'll put one each of the big ones. I don't want it to be seen behind the pieces. So I'll grab my minis and I'll use some of the borders on here. The borders are really good for getting edges. And also, I'm going to introduce you, if you haven't seen the black ones. Sorry, I'm too close again now, look. Let's just put it out a tad. Out, in. Going the wrong way, it's catching me up. There you go. So the black ones, they've got white backings on them, but I just want narrow strips. So I'm going to do some tiny little pieces along the edge here. Okay, because they're all very useful. And for the straight pieces, they are ideal. So I'm going to just take one of those off. Try and leave the backing behind. And you will see that they are black. Okay, so I'm going to put this along the hull there. And I'll take another piece and pop at the other end. And then I'll take another one and I'll use that for the top of the mast here. Because it's black against black card, it really won't be seen. So we've got enough there to hold it all in place. Take the pieces off the back. Okay, take that and that. I'm putting those on the floor at the moment. I'll hoover tomorrow. Get that out of the way, and we'll place our boat just in the water. I think I'll pop it there. There we go. So that one's in place. And then it's just for a greeting, really. The greetings I like on here. For a note card, I like quite small greetings. So I'm going to take the one from Grassy Grove, the thank you up here. That's really cute. There we go. And I have some blocks. Oh, that's in the wrong place. Sorry about that. That was in the wrong place. I got the wrong one. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do this in black. Again, because I've put the ridge on there, I think I'm going to put this on a separate piece of paper. So I will trim this. But I want it in black. This one's actually quite narrow. It's a bit smaller. And tap it nice and firmly on the Memento ink pad. And just make sure it's well inked up. It's nice and delicate, this one. It's a bit inky the other end, so I'm going to move a bit and I'm just going to pop that on there like so. Hold it down and lift it off. Okay, we will be using that again. It's a lovely way to do thank you cards because they're quite quick. Now, what I've been doing lately, Blackberry Bliss for the sales, yeah, they're lovely, aren't they? Excuse my poor nail, I've cut it, I've broken it into the side here and I have mended it, but it needs repairing again, so I will be doing that in the morning. It doesn't look very nice on there. So I just literally holding this in place. I've abandoned my glasses somewhere. Probably, there we go, they're hiding. Need glasses for my fussy cutting. Okay, and just come around here. I'll bring it up to the camera, hopefully, if you haven't seen me cutting before. I move the card, so my left hand here is moving the card with me, keeping the scissors in my right hand exactly where they are, or roughly where they are, and making my hand move it so it's swirling round here, and it's moving where the letters are going. All right. Shaz, did you hear the visitor? Bless her. She does it every time, doesn't she? Okay, so I'm just coming around here, moving around the bottom. Sounds nasty. Which sounds nasty? Oh, my nail. I fell over. I was going for a walk down the side of our house. We've got a public footpath. And I was walking around the field to see a lady on the next road. And we're both waiting on some Ukrainian visitors to stay with us. So we've registered under the Homes for Ukraine. And we went round to have a chat, catch up, etc. And I fell over a bramble across the path and I went flying, and both of them are broken. That one's broken in there, but it's the mend is okay on that one. It's just this one's just peeled off. So here is my little sentiment. Now let me try and find you on the camera. Can you see that one there? How dainty that is. It's a really nice small greeting. It's quite easy to fussy cut. Yes, smudge has arrived. So it's quite easy to fussy cut, as you saw me doing there. I like that for this size card. And I'm going to take a couple of the little dimensionals, put one each end. There we go. And peel those off. On a note card, I love our note cards from Stampin' Up. And now the dilemma where to put it. Ooh! I'll take some votes on this one. Bottom, on the sails. I quite like that. I don't really like things stuck in the sky. Tell me where you'd like to position that one. I'm kind of going with down the corner here, I think. Or across the sails. What does it look like from a distance, ladies? I'll give you a few seconds to catch up with me. I don't think there's a delay on here. Where are we going to put it? First comment. Put it just there. Oh dear. Bottom. I started there, didn't I, in the first place? We'll pop him there, because then that sort of counteracts one on the left and one on the right. There you go, decision made. Thank you, Shaz. So there's my first little quick and easy. Okay, I talked you through a few techniques and different ways of doing it, but that's the first one, done and dusted. And then if you wanted to, I don't know if it's a done thing to put glitter onto sails, but if you wanted to add some texture on there, just test your Wink of Stella off camera and make sure that you've got some in the barrel here, and you could actually colour over that and add some glitter on there just to give it something, a little bit of, could be reflection off the water, couldn't it? Okay, so that's that one. Then stroke that one up there round the sails. Okay, I did this on some printed paper, the pansy papers on Sunday night, and it looks really nice. That's all got to just dry on there. There you go. And it just, when that dries, you won't see the lines on there. Just gives a little bit of shimmer. Okay, so that's number one. I don't know how many we're going to do. We're just going to play and have some fun tonight. So there's one. So I have, ooh, which we'll do next. That's another watery one. We won't use that one. You do like the sentiment at the bottom. Well done, Joy. Thank you. I've got some spare card there. Which one to do next? I think I'll do this one next because I've got some gates to show you. I haven't used the gates yet. So we're going to go through this cycle. We'll get quicker now as we go. So we're going to go to the 3 inches. Okay. There's enough there to make 2 cards. I don't really want to lose this bottom bit. So I'm going to do one for a start. I'm just taking the top off. But as I said earlier, I need to either measure it with a ruler to the 4.5, or I could do it on the bigger trimmer, couldn't I? So I'm going to take a bit of each, so I don't lose all of it. A little bit off there. Grab the big trimmer, just saves us getting other tools out. 4.5. There we go. We're going to take that orangey sky out at but that's where we're leaving that one. And just testing the size to the back of that, just to show you how that's going to fit in the middle there. And I'm going to, I don't think we'll put a matte layer on this one. I'm just looking for my, keep my note cards and envelopes in one of our wood mount cases. Absolutely love them, and I'm going to mourn them because they've gone and we can't get them anymore, the wood mount. When these actually finally die and, you know, can't be used anymore, I have to look for an alternative. So these note cards are just so handy, so handy. And that just makes that card straight away, doesn't it? So we've got a nice little border around there, a white border on this one. And if we want to see what the dies look like for the gates. So I haven't used these yet, the gates. And I cut a couple just before I came on air, just to see what they look like. So that's these ones here. And a piece of the greenery. Now, with gates, you have to look to see, some of them have got a flat edge and some have got a picket fence top. So that is one actually that would sit on the left hand side, and this one would sit on the right hand side of a project. We don't need both on this one. So I'm thinking some greenery there. Do I want to have that one? I think I'm going to cut this one in the evergreen, because I think that might look nice. And take a little scrap from here. Take that piece. And Baby Boss. I'm going to have this little one on here. Stick him in the corner. And if you don't want to get the lines from your plate on your cardstock, whatever you're doing, but especially with foils, just rough cut round it. So if you've got a piece of card, work out what size you need, and then you won't waste what's surrounding it, because when your plates get really scratched, you can indent that into the rest of your card of that's hanging off around the side. Okay, just gently do that. Try to not rock the table. There we go, that's one for now. And this one, I'm so impressed at how easily they just all fall out. Look at that. So perfect. Okay, so that's for the bin that's covered. Now, a little trick here. We do have, on the end of our Take Your Pick tool, did you know, oh, this is the double ball tool. Let me just get my pokey tool. This one. On the end of the pokey tool here, on the end of here, we have a spatula. Okay, so just take it off, lock it in, and that little spatula is great for getting these little dies off when they get really ingrained into the lines on here. Use that little spatula. Great tool, and then you can scrape it off onto the floor, ready for next time, and do the hoovering tomorrow. Okay. Put that on there. So this little one here, we're going to swap the colours over, and I'm going to see what this one, look how that transforms that. But also, when that is in place, I kind of like things like this to come off the edge, so it gives us a little bit more dimension, so it's not just a square frame. So we're going to plop this one onto the card. No dimensionals this time, just straight down. And lift that into the middle. And say a tiny little border around the outside. Because we're working to the 3 inches on the card, is exactly half the sheet. So that works really nicely. You could, if you wanted it bigger, you could go a bit wider and then have a narrow one on another card. So this one, I'm going to place the gate just here. And tonight I'm just running this very gently along the struts. Hardly squeezing my Tombow at all. Just tiny little bit on there. Okay, if you put too much on, it will squeeze out, and we don't want that. And by going off the edge, it's just giving it that little bit of shape to it. So with this one, what sentiment would we like on here? I quite like the ones on the horizon. Could do relax and enjoy your day, couldn't we? Because it's a nice scenery, somewhere that you would think that you'd want to go and relax, isn't it? So I'll try this one. I've got my card here. And for this one, I'm going to use the evergreen ink pad. Because it's the evergreen that we've got here. Just test that on a piece of scrap. Oh, nice and solid. So this is brilliant. While I've got this one out, when you're doing your sentiments, just bring those so you can see everything. If you have a piece of scrap card and you know there's a piece there that's just the right size to do another one and keep it in the stamp case. Because chances are you'll be doing something similar, and as we've got this set out, I'll probably make lots more. So that's a jolly handy way of saving yourself a bit of time. So I'll pop that one in the pot there, and we can use that one later. I do like to cut these to do my fussy cutting, so I am going to cut this one straight along the bottom. But I like to round the corner, so I'll come round there and then cut in and out of these shapes. Again, moving my left hand round the shapes. Two things that make people go quiet. I had 3 ladies in the other day, and fussy cutting and colouring in, and they were doing both. So suddenly all the chatter stopped. I know I make it, oh sorry, I'm off camera. I know I make it look easy, but if you just hold your scissors and then just let the left hand move your paper where you want it. Okay, and again, I like the corners rounded at the bottom there. Okay, so there's our next sentiment. Ready to go. And it doesn't really need much more than that. It could have some birds in there. Maybe we want to have the smaller ones on here. So I've got several bits out today. This really is a smaller greeting. Stick that on there. Look at those, they are tiny. But they would do nicely in the sky. And the card is flat this time. It is not on dimensionals. So I'm just going to have a few of these coming off the corner. And that's going to go onto my card just off the edge there. But there can be a few in the sky. They can be coming off this edge as well. And maybe a few up there. Okay. Just wherever you think the birds might be sitting, flying. And then this one, we've got a nice lot of open space here. So we literally could pop this wherever we wanted. We could put that one right in, bang in the middle, I think, today. So back to my dimensionals. We're working on the white. Now I'm going to grab another of those little narrow strips that we cut, because I've got a long tail on the top of the R there for the relax. So I want to take that one off and stick it on there. Okay, just get rid of those as I go. Ooh, flick those off. And there we are, that one can go right in the centre. What more does it need, hey? A few little embellishments, and there we are. Relax and enjoy your day. Beautiful. Okay, so that's number 2. Let's stick that one up there. And then we'll do one more. It's 22 at the moment, so we've got time. So I've done that one, I've done that one. Let's grab another paper. Okay, so which ones should we do? So we have that one. I've used the sailboat, the birds. I was going to put some rainbows on some of these, the clouds from the rainbow set on some of these, but I don't really think we need, do we? I think I'm going to use this one on the top because that is one of my favourites. And again, do exactly the same, and we're going to cut this in half. Now, some of the designs, when you're looking at them, some of the designs you will think actually they could go into 4. Now, I wouldn't necessarily with this one, but if you wanted to, you could cut this into 4. So you've got a lovely little design there. That would sit on our note card. I just need another note card. And just crease that one in half. So if you've got a square there and it was cut up to the 3 inches, which would be about there, okay, you could have that little piece on there. Oh, in fact, let's do it. Shall we do that? Let's cut this one down a bit. So 3 inches would be left with a lot of sky and just some greenery at the bottom. This is not wasted. This can be used on another card. Okay. Oh, look. And if we turn that over, that was there. Turn it over, and it was actually this one, look. Oh, I say, that's really nice, because these are little, they look like snow-topped mountains on their own. Shaz, you've never used the note cards. Absolutely encourage. If you do things like cards and a cuppa, and you have customers just come along for a cup of coffee and make a card, have a chat, so just a social environment. Note cards are so handy because they're pre-scored, they're in packs of 20, so you get the note card and the envelope, and they're really easy to transport. If you've got any of those old wood mount cases, then just store them in there, pop them in a I take a scrapbook trolley sometimes, or a tote, and you've got a whole packet. You've got enough to have spares if people turn up that you weren't expecting. Really nice. So these, this one here, I didn't realise that was on the back of the design. So we could use this one with the sky and the greenery, the mountains, and then this one could be the snow-top mountains in the background, and that could be like some waves or some water. So then that's got a twofold, that one. That one doesn't really work for me. It doesn't really look like much, but this way it actually looks like houses going across there, snow-topped houses in the distance. So you actually could have two. So you could have that one on there like so, and then the greeting at the bottom, or you could have that one on there with the greeting at the bottom. But again, you could put it where you liked, really. You could put it slap bang in the middle and have your birds coming off over the top there. I'm tempted here. Let's quickly get some card out. I might do both of those. So a piece of the Misty Moonlight, which is sadly very soon to be retiring. Sorry, that's a folded card. That's my smallest piece. So remember the squares when we do this in half, they are 3 inches. So I'm going to go 3 1/8 if you just want a small border. And 3 1/8. Like I say, I'm not normally an inches person, so this is rare for you seeing me in inches. And then I'm going to do the same with this piece that I had earlier. Sorry, off this camera again. So I'm going to go 3 and... I'll try 3 1/4 just to show you the difference. And 3 1/4. Oh, there you go. That was bang on there, ready. So this one could go with that one. That's giving you a bigger border. This one with blue is just giving you a tinsy wincy bit round the side there, just to offset that, give it a little frame. Okay, and then this one, do we like it big or do we want it? I think I'm going to take that down. I like the 3 1/8. Just makes a huge difference. And also keep your scraps. Those strips are nice, narrow, solid strips, all the same width all the way down. I keep those. There will be scrap days coming up. I'm going to be doing some scrap cards. So you will be able to use all your little pieces. So I'm going to get these down onto the base. And it's hard to see the Blackberry Bliss against the black, I know, sorry. Spread that one down. It's got a nice little base on there, so that will look like so on my card, and this one will have slightly bigger. And Tombow as well is a really quick, when you're making quick cards, Don't worry about faffing with the tape runner or tape. I just drizzle that Tombow round, literally scribble it round like you see me doing all the time, and then that's the other one. So we'll get another one of those out. Now, I haven't done any envelopes tonight. The envelopes, I would do the same. I would decorate those, and if you have any scraps in your bag, where are my pieces? I store mine in these are 7, let me come out again. I store my papers, my 6-inch papers, it's a 7.5-inch Ziploc. So these are, it's just some I came across by accident. Long story, but anyway, I got them and now I order them because they're just handy. There's enough room for them to move about. I keep the small pieces at the front, and all of these small scraps here, they will go down the sides of my envelopes, so, or across the bottom, wherever, but they all go somewhere, and the scraps do get used. I don't waste them. The papers, Jane, are on the horizon. They are in the mini catalogue. They are beautiful. And if you think you've got a pack of 48 sheets in there, they, with the 48, if you did even 2 cards per page, that's 48, that's 96 cards you could make with one pack. So well worth it, definitely worth it. Now I'd like to put some more birds on here, so I'm going to bring my birds back, and before we place these pieces down, like I said, this one looks like snow-topped hills. I'm going to put my sentiment on the bottom, and I want to have some birds coming off the corner of the page here, so I'm just going to stamp a few of those, so when I position this one, we have some birds there. Just wondering actually if I have a few coming off the, just to join those up, I think. Let me get this down and I will put them on shortly. I can go just there. I might decide not to actually. I'm going to put this one on flat anyway this time. Just round the edges and a quick scribble in the middle, and tweezers do help get your big fingers out of the way so you can position it well. So you want it to go either side and up a little bit, because I'm going to put my greeting down the bottom. Although with all the white here you could actually put the sentiment in there. And when you put your layers on flat, if you are a Stamparatus user, I would definitely put them in the Stamparatus, and we can put that on there. I'm going to do these two the same. The birds here can be coming out off the edge of the paper as well, because we've got a lot of sky there, so we can put some coming out the edge there. Okay, and we can have some on the card itself before we put that down. Nice and quick. Scribble this down. My A4 papers, now you're the second person to ask me that in 2 days. I will show you what I use. Okay, because I'm going to do these together, I'm just going to roughly get them about the same depth. About the same. Get it in the middle. There we go. Nice and simple. Now, if we wanted to have a sentiment like that, relax, I'm not going to use that on this one, but the green would actually go on here. So let's do that one. Scissors, and cut another one. I haven't forgotten you, Jane. I'll show you how I do my cardstock in a minute. I used to store them in Ziploc pouches, and I got so frustrated with the Ziplocs, like that 7.5-inch one that I use. They're not so bad because the 6-inch papers are much smaller than, you know, you've got, let me show you. You've got room at the ends. With the A4, they were literally A4 size. So trying to get an A4 sheet in, it was hard in these corners here because you'd got the stiffness of those. You couldn't actually just slot it straight in. So what I've gone on to now, for a little while now, is these, they're, plastic sleeves. These are actually, I think they call them like for workers to check in for your worksheets. So clocking in sheets. I can't remember what they call them, but I will post it. I can't see after the event, I can't see the comments on YouTube that you're putting up here now. which is a bit of a shame. But I will put it in the body of the description underneath the video later on this evening. But these have got a little hole here. Can you see that there's a finger hole? It's got a curve in it. So it's easy to get out, and see the A4s are coming straight in, straight out. The only thing is you have to store them upright. So Jane, as you know, in my studio here, I store them on these ones on their side. Bring you out another bit. I store them on the side like this, so I can go see them all by name, and I can just take a sheet out without removing the whole container, and I can put them back. So where I've got my little pieces of Blackberry Bliss, I could literally just slot it in there like that in the packet. Works for me. They will eventually get tatty at the top here because that's what's in and out. But on the whole, I prefer these to the Ziplocs, definitely. Okay, really useful. I got them off Amazon, I believe. But I'll pop the link in there for you so you can grab them. And for the 12 by 12 papers, sorry, I'm back on fussy cutting now. Your 12 by 12 papers, I do exactly the same, except they're record sleeves. So they're 12 by 12 record sleeves, and they do exactly the same. There's just no finger hole in them. So if you want anything for your 12 by 12s, you just have to remember that there's nothing to fix them in. So don't drop them upside down. They will all fall out. That's the only disadvantage. But if you've got some Kallax units, you know, our lovely IKEA Kallax units, and you're storing them upright, then, or on the side, that will be fine. Okie doke. So this is the 1/4 here. And again, like we did the Relax earlier, I think this is just a lovely scenery, blue sky, nice and greenery, and I think that would look nice just over this side, half on and half off. As our card is flat, I'm definitely going to use the dimensionals. Then we'll find another greeting for the other card. And again, remember, I want the piece for the R there. I'm just going to cut one of those straight pieces and lift it off to put on the top of the R. That one's not so bad. Peel those off. There we go, and that's ready to go on the edge of the card there. So it's just like we did before with the gates, just hanging off the edge. They're just nice to have some sort of edge to them. Okay, so that's number 3. That's nice. And then we just need a greeting for this one. So that was 4 today. That was good. Bum, bum, bum. Which should we do for this one? Thinking of you. I like the long greeting of this one. What should I do? I don't know if I want thanks for everything on there. Thanks for everything or thinking of you. It's one of those two. I wanted a long greeting to go across the bottom there. I think thanks for everything would be nice. Okay. I'm just going to peel these other stamps off so that I can use the block again. There we go. And because I haven't inked this one up before, I'm just going to tap this way. So make sure there's a good coverage. And if in doubt, always test it on a piece of scrap paper. Make sure you're happy. Yeah, it's a nice, crisp, clean greeting, this one. Okay, and we'll pop this along the bottom. It's going to go in the middle. Like I say, if you're a doubtful stamper, then please feel free, use your Stamparatus. If I'd got it out onto the table today, then I would have used it. Even though I'm a confident stamper, I love my Stamparatus. And so that's there on there like so. I think this is going to need some bling though. I think we need some bling on here. Let's have a look. I've got a packet there that needs using up first, so let's use those ones. So I think this needs some bling. Even if I just put 3 along the bottom here, it needs something. Oh. Silly sausage. Get that off. Okay. Use a proper tool, Sandra. Take your pick tool and then slide them, and they pick up so much easier. Okay, well, at the third one. Just slide it off and pop it down. Okay. Slide them in position if you're not quite straight. Press them hard. And there we go. There's just some little bling on that one. And I'll bring the others back and we can decide whether we think they need bling or not. That one probably doesn't because it's busy enough. That one's got the sparkle on the wings. This one needs some bling, so I'll do the same on there, I think. So I've got some 3 little ones of these. So pick up and push down. The only thing is working right to left, your hand's in the way, so you can't actually see when they're lined up straight. I can't work left-handed. So when you're happy they're straight, then just press on them hard. And there we go. 4 little cards tonight. Look, I'll put them in a block. So you've got 4 there. This one's bouncing up a little bit. Just press on that again. Okay, and that immediately helps it to stay down. Okay, hope you like those. They were some quick and easy cards on the Horizon papers. If you rewatch Jane from the beginning, you'll see I went through all of the papers, so all the designs were there. Okay, just going to see, you can actually get these on one screen if I do that, can't you? There we go, you can see them all. So we've got quarter sheets there. We've got the panel that I was saying about cutting it in half, the panel on that whole card on its own. It's quite busy, didn't need a matte layer. This one covering the whole of the white note card and taking away that outside white edge because the papers were so beautiful, they speak for themselves. Okay, I think card 4 is my favourite. Which is that? This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're all nice. I love them all. The papers are great. If you haven't got them, Shaz, I know you've got a spare couple of sets. If you want the on the Horizon DSP, get it before they run out because they will be retiring at the end of the catalogue. Okay. I think they are Califile pockets. I don't know. I'll pop when I put the description up and put the picture on the front of the YouTube, then I will pop the details for the link in the description. Okay. Anyway, I'll bring you back to me and say thanks for joining me. Where are we? Go across there. Thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you like those. I love them. I've got a spare pack already, and just for making cards, just quick cards to give away. They're really good. So we've done 4 in an hour. We could have done more if I wasn't talking you through them. So you could do a lot more than that. Okay, so bye for now.